Well, good morning, guys. This started out as a little Fleabay edition, and as I explained, as I will explain here as this video starts, I'm playing with new equipment here, and I'm playing with a new higher end microphone. The audio is absolutely terrible in it, so I edited about 10 minutes of this. I actually felt there was quite a bit of good content on lathe stuff here in this one. Found quite a few things that I actually did go in and look at and thought was worth talking about, but the audio's terrible in it. If there's really interest, I can go back and edit the rest of this and put it out there. But the audio is part of it's the audio settings is a lot of it. Part of it is I haven't figured out how to use this new microphone yet. So I apologize for that now. If you're interested, there's about 10-12 minutes of some interesting items that start off. Otherwise, we'll try and do better in the future here. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Thank you very much. All right, a little Fleabay edition today, and we're playing with some new equipment. We're playing with a new microphone here, and still making adjustments. We're going to have to change the mounting for it because the little stand that I had for my other mic is not heavy enough to actually support this mic, and we've gone to a new Rode mic here. So we're going to be playing with audio a little bit and doing stuff. This is as much a test as anything else here. We're going to change a few more things around. I've got my R10 Canon that I was shooting for a while, and I'm not liking it quite as well as in the shop as my previous camcorder that I was using. So I've actually been using it, and it's a little bit easier for me, I guess is what it is. I'm probably going to eventually integrate that R10 into this setup here. Anyway, I'll put links to those down in the description if you're interested in what they are and what's going on with them. But thought we'd do a little Fleabay edition. I've already looked at both mills and shapers, and there's absolutely nothing new. I mean, it's the same junk that we looked at here last week and in the last Fleabay edition, so we're not even going to mess with that. Like I say, it's exactly the same junk. There's been nothing new added that I found anyway. So looking at lathes, there's a few interesting things here, and some things that aren't really a bad buy when you kind of put things in perspective. And you know, some stuff is, if you are looking for parts, why there might be something worth looking at here. There's some stuff that's way overpriced, and we'll get into those. So I went down most of the first page, and that's probably going to be all we really need to go through today to have a nice full video here. So once I get done with this, I'm going out to the shop. I think we're mulling our sand today, so I can maybe do some casting tomorrow. I spent yesterday working on on some electrical stuff there in the shop around the casting area, so we've about got that towards the least function. I still got a little bit of airline to run and some scheming to do on getting that exactly the way I want it with the space I've got. So anyway, let's get back to what we're supposed to be looking at here. Right off the top, new listing, Atlas Craftsman 6-inch lathe apron, saddle casting M6-9 with Gibbs screws and plates. Pre-owned. They want $19.95 or best offer and $9.74 delivery. And we'll actually go in and look at quite a few of these today because they're interesting stuff here. Seller, not a whole lot of feedback. I've probably seen a little bit of his stuff before, but haven't really paid any attention. Of course, haven't spent a whole lot of time looking at lathe stuff. So, item description: saddle casting only as shown. Includes the Gibbs screws and Gibbs plates. No apron internals, Z-screw parts or carriage components are included beyond what is pictured. So looking at the pictures here, big pictures, where are we? Okay, this is the front of the casting. It's a standard casting, looks good. Now the thing I will say about 6-inch stuff as opposed to 10-12-inch stuff is it's probably not going to show as much wear in general as the 10 and 12-inch lathes will. The 6-inch is more definitely a hobby machine type of thing. I don't personally feel they've taken from what I've seen anyway, I don't think they normally take the same abuse that a 10 or 12-inch will. The 10 or 12-inch were, for their size, workhorses in the home shop, and the 6-inch was very functional, but still kind of a toy machine by comparison. So you look at these castings or this casting, and it doesn't look bad to me at all. There may be some wear in it. Where you normally see wear in the castings on the aprons on the 10 and the 12 is in where the protrusions come through, where the hand wheel comes through, and engagement lever on the side, things like that. You're probably still going to see that same wear pattern, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as extensive on these castings for the 6-inch like this. The casting looks good. I mean, it's been used, obviously, but looking at the wear patterns on the top of it here in this picture, there's some wear going on, but this is still a pretty good looking casting. These surfaces look pretty good. I think I'd seen a little bit of wear marks more than this picture showing, but not really bad at all, I don't think. So yeah, it's not a bad looking casting, I don't think. And for what they're wanting for it, which was $20 and another 10 shipping, I think if you actually have a need for one of these, I think this is probably a pretty good deal. You just don't see a tremendous amount of wear. You see a little bit where it's been run and everything. I'm not going to say it's perfect by any means, but the casting looks pretty good to me. You got some dinks along the ways here. There was where I'd seen a little bit of scratching on it before, but I think this could be a good usable casting, and I think the price is right if you actually need one of these. So yeah, I think that's probably a fair deal. I think that's about where it should be, maybe even a little bit more. Right below it's a J.H. Williams #1 Durling tool holder, South Bend, Logan, Atlas Lake. They want $30 and free delivery. Now, the thing I'll say about these, and this is from a seller that's got a lot of feedback, deals in junk stuff, I think, as much as anything else, just from looking at his username and feedback and stuff. Why I suggest that's what it is. He's parting out a machine here, and we'll see more of these machine parts. I'm pretty sure it's his. Now, the thing I'll say about these tool holders, and whether it's just a 2-place or this is a swivel, it should have 3 sets, I think, normally. Now, maybe this one doesn't, but normally you'll see these with 3 sets of wheels on here. It doesn't look like this one does. It looks like this one's just the one. This is probably a fair price for this knurling tool. The bad thing about these is they put a tremendous amount of tension on your spindle to get a good knurl. And this one's been used and abused, I think. You look at the knurls on this, and yeah, this is just going to have 1 set of knurls. Where the bigger ones for the 10 and 12, normally you'll see there's room. They can have 3 sets of knurls on these to go around. They are functional. They do work. They're kind of hard on a machine, especially these smaller machines. I much prefer a scissor type new, can't talk. A scissor type knurling holder for these, as opposed to these, because like I say, they do put a lot of pressure on the spindle bearings. This set of knurls is not great. They're a little bit, well, they're a lot scarfed up. But still probably going to produce a good functional knurl. This is about the condition you see most of these knurling tools in. So, I'm not going to trash on them. I'm not going to say don't buy it or anything. It's going to be a good functional tool, but they're a little harder on your machine than some of the other stuff that's available. So there you go. It's back to pay your money, taste your chances here. Atlas Craftsman, I won't go. This Atlas Craftsman 10-12-inch metal lathe head stock bed clamp number 9-7, $24.99 and $7.99 delivery. Standard tail stock, and I think this is the same clamp for the head stock on these machines. No, they're not worth $25 and $8 shipping. It's worth 10, maybe $15 on that $8 shipping. So it's overpriced. It's not that big a deal. Now this may be, I say I'm not going to look at it. Let's look at the seller. Now this is the seller that's listed here. Got a lot of feedback. I don't know anything about it. He's got pretty decent feedback and everything. But that's too much money for that clamp. And right below, this is where it starts getting, some of these things start getting kind of ugly. New listing, Atlas Craftsman, quick change 54 lathe bed, large 36 between centers lathe, Atlas 10-inch lathe print, $300 and then another $100 delivery. No. No, this is from the same seller that had the last, whatever it was, right above the bed plan. No, we're smoking dope. Use condition with ding, dents, and scratches, big greasy. Please see photos for details. We're in pot smoker territory again here. You look at this bed, and there's a bunch of pictures here. Look at the shatter marks. I'm going to consider them shatter marks all the way up and down this lady bed. To me, that's usually an indication of a loose carriage, and they just run it back and forth, and it's kind of shattered along there. This is a piece of crap. Now, I'm going to tell you, most of these beds, even if you see a good one, they're certainly not worth $300. This is the leftover stuff. Back again, the leftover stuff that they can't sell. This is the junk. This is junk. So they're wanting collectible prices for a wore-out bed, and then they're wanting actually probably somewhat realistic shipping on them. This is the headstock end. And this is where the wear starts happening. Or is going to happen, but all along this bed, this is a piece of junk. Why do you want this crap? The scrape marks there. This is junk. And these beds can be resurfaced. They can be remachined. Unless you have the capabilities to do it yourself, you're going to spend more than it's worth to start with. And I've heard guys, there's been discussions, well, you just got to flatten a couple of surfaces. Well, you don't. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 surfaces that have to be machined if you're going to do it right. And then because you've got tops of the ways on both sides, you've got the outer edges, and then you've got the bottom edges. All of them have to match. Straight, true, parallel, all that good stuff. So guys have said, oh yeah, it's not that big a deal. Well, it is that big a deal, and it's not worth it. And the bed's not worth $300. The bed itself is worth $75, but then you still got shipping on top of it. You're probably going to spend at least another $75 on shipping. This one they want $95. So, a bed in your door should be worth $150 unless it's brand new, and you're not going to see it brand new no matter what they tell you. Unused stuff, we're going to see that a little bit later on. We're going to hear never been used, never been run, all this crap. So no, this is just, I won't even go through the rest of these pictures because this is not worth it. This is $150 in your door. Any more than that is they're trying to rip you off. And I think about $400 for this one. $400 for a $150 item. No, pot smokers.